Questions, comments, rude remarks. I am joined today by two really fun and amazing people. I have Darcy Kessner Hawkins and John Verico, who are here to join me for today's conversation. We have been having so much fun. I'm glad you guys can finally join us. Okay. So here's what
We were at the pre-party.
we were
That's right.
pre-gaming this particular conversation. So welcome. Glad you're here. um, um, just so you know, the questions, comments, rude remark is not just about us here on the screen, but you as well in the audience. You are also a part of this conversation. So feel free to drop your comments in the chat. We will put them on the screen. Actually, they'll show up right there somewhere. Oh, look, Monica Abriana said hello. Exactly. You are a part of the
I
conversation.
don't see
If
them.
you hear a question, comment is right here on the bottom. Uh, Question, comment, or rude remark you would like to share. Let's move it to the middle. How about that? There you go. Question, comment, or rude remark, you can add it. And yeah, your question, your comment, or rude remark. It's just like that. With that said, today's topic is take responsibility for your actions. Now, in our pregame, I told Darcy, hey, this is the conversation for today. And Darcy then said,
See, you're putting me on the spot. I said, it's like, uh, are they conscious of it or something to that effect? Someone correct me. Are they conscious of being doing that, or are they just being a butt? Right. So
are they conscious of not taking responsibility for their actions? Are they just being an hole, a cornhole?
when we say those words, as my friend says, asweepe. Asweepe. Okay.
So, I mean, that is a good question, Darcy. This is questions, comments, rude remarks. I love your question for a question. So, John, what do you think? Are they? Do they know, or are they being arch?
I don't know if they're intentionally being a butthead. I think people are just have a tendency to not want to be responsible or take blame for things. I mean, nobody wants to be blamed for anything, so it's easier and they think healthier to just pass that blame on to everybody else. So, yeah, I think it's actually a problem that we have in society, right? People just don't want to take responsibility. Oh,
Yeah,
it's not my fault. I didn't do it. And we learn this from kids too, right?
yeah,
You drop something, you knock it over, mom's going to be mad. With me, I didn't do it. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Little brother, the dog, the cat,
Right?
whatever.
They
Y'all.
They
Yeah.
did it. Right. But what is that saying? You point one finger and three point back at you. My daughter, I said that to my daughter once, and she
I like her. Yeah.
It's so true. I love it.
yeah. So,
Well, think about it. You're sitting around in the living room and you smell something funny and you go, "Up, the dog did it."
right, right. You smelt it, you dealt it. Is what happens, right? No, Abriana, Monica Abriana says, so humans are inherently buttholes. I honestly, okay, so I believe that humans are naturally creative. Like creativity through and through runs through us. And sometimes we create bullshit ass excuses of why it's not our fault. Right? Like we create havoc with some of our actions. And that sometimes is just collateral damage to the thing that like we're trying to squirm out of something, and so there's a collateral damage that happens there, right? But it's not necessarily that we're inherently buttholes.
Do you remember the old TV show Welcome Back, Cotter?
Yes.
I do
And
not, because that is before my time.
it's before your
Oh
time.
my
I thought maybe in reruns. Anyway, there was a character there, the Hispanic guy named Epstein. Remember him, Darcy?
I don't
And
remember
every
his name,
day
but
okay, so Epstein had a note that he would bring in for why he didn't do his homework or why he was late or why he missed something or why he's not doing well on test, whatever it was. He always had a note from his mother, and it was, whatever it was, please excuse Juan for this, blah blah, signed Epstein's mother.
Oh,
like there was no name.
References this all the time. Thank you for the explanation.
Now, when I was in college, I actually a series called Signed Epstein's Mother. And what I did was I would go around and talk to students and to teachers about some of the most bizarre excuses that they had come up with or heard for getting out of trouble for something or for passing the blame or on other folks. And it was just the most fun, bizarre, goofy stuff. We had one person whose grandmother died 6 times in one semester. My dog ate my homework was a classic one, but my dog had dysentery was kind of a new one.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think ultimately when we come down to, when we really, really think about it, right? Like the taking responsibility for your actions usually comes with a wag, right? Like there's like a finger wagged behind it, take responsibility for your actions. And I think that sometimes because it comes with a wag, it also makes it so that we don't take responsibility for any part of our lives, like any part of our actions, any part of the outcome that happens, including sometimes the good stuff. Like I spent all of my time yelling at people about like, take responsibility for that. You did it. That's you. Like there's like this lack of ability to actually even claim credit for where credit is due, right? Like this,
right.
No, that wasn't me. That was all of you. I even had one person, I like walked her through this process that I do, genius navigation process, right? Where I'm like, my job is to help people understand their genius, right? So this is what I do. And I asked her questions about, well, what happens when you're in trouble? And then, and you have to solve a problem. And I asked her step by step, okay, well then what do you do? And then when you do that, what do you do? And then when you do that, what do you do? And then when you do that, what do you do? What I tell you, I gave her every one of her words right back at her. And I was like, here's your process. This is your genius process for problem solving, right? And she goes, well, that's not my process. That's your process. What? It literally came out of your mouth. I don't problem solve this. Well, you did that. That's not me. I didn't do that. I was looking for Ashton. I was like, am I being punked right now? Like it literally came out of your mouth, right? So like there's something like strong in this, like taking credit, whether for the good or for the bad, that is missing in the full context of everything that we're experiencing. And if we kind of don't start taking responsibility for our actions, we'll never really get to like go in the right direction of like correcting our behaviors, but also like realizing how badass we are, like, and how amazing we are, and how much good we put into the world, right? Like you miss out on the duality of that whole concept. But can you believe that? Like literally, I was like, here's what you told me. And she was like, that's your process.
I have so much I want to say on this.
Go for it.
So, and yeah, that's true. So there's different perspectives. So you have the people who don't take responsibility for their action for whatever reason. But then you have other people who take responsibility for everything. It's my fault. I'm sorry.
Yes. Oh.
So
yes.
I'm calling myself out a little bit. But and I'm recovering. I'm recovering from that. So, and that brings me to the next part, is that we don't necessarily know we're doing it one way or the other until we're surrounded by people who are truth tellers. And then do we trust them? Are they really telling the truth, or their version of what truth is? So, yeah, from what Monica was saying. But anyway, so that's one perspective of it. Bless you.
Bless you.
Thank you.
And then you have the ones who for, again, whatever reason, cast shade on other people because they can't take responsibility for what they're doing or what they're not doing in their own personal lives. So we could spend, I don't know, hours on this.
We can. There's so many aspects to it. Yeah.
There is, and then it's like, okay, why are you like this? Why do you have this belief? And it's like, okay, it happened when I was a kid. Oh, by the way, I'm a baby boomer. So now, okay, we're going to set aside 2 weeks, go on a retreat and have a conversation about this. So there's a wide variety of, and then if you can't take responsibility for something, me saying that to you, John, let's say, it's my perspective that you're not taking responsibility, but maybe you didn't even do it. And so, right? So, yeah.
For real, maybe I didn't do it. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's true.
It is just happened to be there, so.
But isn't there, like, regardless of the scenario, there's some sort of responsibility that you have as a part of being a part of a scenario?
Only if you're aware.
Like,
yeah. And willing to be part of it. So that's the thing too, is, there's, well, I'm going to go back to what you were talking about too, just about the success side of things, right? We are always, modesty is thrown down our throats, and be modest. You don't want to be a conceited ass and take credit for everything and say, look how great I am and all this other stuff, right? That's frowned upon. So, most people are in that mode where, okay, if I brag about myself and I take credit for all these things that I've done, you're going to think I'm a conceited ass. But if I don't take credit for myself, I'm not standing up, and then I start to convince myself that I'm not all that.
Yeah.
And then you wind up, and then on the other side of things too, easy to victim mode, where something happens and it was not my fault. Wasn't my fault. This happened. This guy ran the red light. This guy did that. Whatever it was, it's somebody else's fault because I can't believe that I was stupid enough to let this happen.
You just triggered me right now. Listen, victimhood is a hard no for me. Now, we have all had things happen to us, right? Or, have been on the wrong side of a transaction that, like, caused us harm. But victimhood it like drives me so nuts. Okay, so, like, here's the thing. I do not go to Victimville with people. And Darcy and I have had an extensive conversation about this. I do not go to Victimville with people. Victimville is a no-go for me. And anybody who is a citizen of Victimville must stay in Victimville. They are not allowed to come where I live, which is in Thriverville. I'll go visit Survivorville, my next door neighbor, but we do not go to Victimville ever. I
reach in there often and try to help. I try to help people come out of there.
No, I don't go in there. It's a no-fly zone, no swim zone, no drive zone, no walk zone. I do not do it because victims are thieves of time and joy. Right? Someone who's a survivor, different story. Something happened to you, you survived it. Different story. But the people who live in Victimville only want to hear and share and grab attention for the fact that they were victimized. They don't want to take whatever they can from that experience and move forward into the future. They want to live there full time.
That's because they have to take responsibility. Going back to where we were from the beginning, right?
On point.
Hey, but, like, it is a hard line for me. And we were in a boot camp this weekend, and Darcy was like, I have a bubble, and I let people in my bubble, and I was like, nope, I have a hard border. It has border patrol. There is a wall. ICE patrols that junk. I have, you got to have a visa to come in from that border. We're looking at the papers. Do you take responsibility for your actions? If the answer is no, okay, so we're gonna need you to go up here, make a U-turn, and go back where you came from. You are not allowed here. It's a no-go zone for me and victims, because when you can take responsibility for your actions, even when you've been perpetrated on, right? Like we've all been victimized by something, right? We've survived something. But even in that action of surviving something, you can choose to learn the lessons that you needed to learn from that experience, or you can make it about the other person and what they did to you and how you were innocent in the situation. The things that I have survived were out of my control, right? But there are still lessons that I could have learned from that experience that make me a survivor of that experience and not a victim of that experience. And it's a fine line. I could be splitting hairs. Y'all can call bullshit if you like, but there's a fine line there of, did I learn anything from that experience? Yes, this happened to me and I had no control over it. I didn't ask for it. It just kind of found me at my doorstep. But was there something I could have learned from this experience? And to me, that's taking ownership of like what you could do differently so that you don't have those kinds of things happen to you, or where you could have been more protective of yourself, or even where you could kind of like take responsibility for your feelings around the experience. Like, the feelings that I have right now are my responsibility, right? About this person, about that, whether or not I forgive them, that's my responsibility. Whether or not I decide to move on to them, my responsibility. So even as a victim,
reframe that just a smidgen. And I don't use the word responsibility, because that sounds like you're responsible for something. It's your fault. But what I said is, it's your choice. It's your choice. And yes. Then that seems like it's an option and you can make that choice. One of the things, you may know, I was recently in a compilation book that came out. It was called The Art of Connection, 365 Days of Resilience Quotes. My quote.
I have the abundance one, but not the other one.
Resilience just came out.
Yeah. Okay, so
it just came out in January.
Go and get it. The series. Go and get it.
There we go. There's my name on the cover. Look at that.
Bam.
We'll have a little side story about that in a moment. But the resilience book that came out, one of the quotes that I have in there is it says that, and I don't have exact words, I should know it by heart, but basically the premise is that sometimes life will deal us crap. Mm-hmm. We have a choice to be the victim and wallow in the stench, or we could turn it into fertilizer and use it for growth.
There's a mic drop right there. Brilliant system, sir. I love that.
Thank you.
I love.
So quick sidetrack to when you held up that book. I have a quick thing to know about it. Last year. Yes, when that book came out last year, a bunch of the authors, now there's 300 some odd authors in this book. Every page is a day of the calendar year, and every day is another author's perspective. That particular book was on abundance. So last year when the book came out, about 80 some of the authors got together in New York City and put the book up on the Jumbotron in Times Square. And we're all standing out in the street like a bunch of fools going, woo, 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 look what we did. Look what we did. This is so cool. And it was on there. It was up there for 15 seconds every 5 minutes for 24 hours.
Oh, nice.
So this one evening in particular, we were out there for about 2 hours and every 5 minutes for 15 seconds we're going, woo! And we're taking pictures. Oh, now you take a picture the next time it comes up, and we're doing all that stuff. So this was all about, we were all so happy. Look what we did. Look at our project. And it wasn't until I was on the train home the next day and I'm flipping through some of the pictures that some of the people had already started posting and stuff. And it dawned on me that my name was on the cover of the book. The book was on the screen in Times Square. And it suddenly hit me. My name was in lights in Times Square.
Yes.
And it was like, here I was, so focused on the us and the we and our accomplishment that it didn't even dawn on me that I had this little element of look at me
Look at me.
in there. But it was such a cool, like, oh my God, that's me up there in lights in Times Square. Yeah.
Yeah.
But isn't there a time and a place to experience that?
I'm sorry, Darcy.
Isn't there a time and a place for that? So it was after, and
Yes.
then to be there in community with everybody and the impact that you're making as a community on the rest of the world. And then, oh, by the way, look, my name's on there, and I'm in New York. I'm on, wow, and utilizing it for other reasons, other purposes. But so that it's freaking cool.
It's so cool, and congratulations on so many. I mean, your book is on, your name is on a few of these books, sir. If we're taking responsibility for our actions, right? There's a few names here on this, but also like what I know and what I love about you is you consider yourself a connector, right? Like, and for you, the joy, the responsibility that I'm sure you'll happily claim is I put these people together. Like, I put this person in touch with that person.
That's actually how I got on the cover.
Yeah.
It wasn't because I had the largest personal contribution into the book. It was the fact that I brought 40 other people into the book.
Wow.
40 people out of 365 is a substantial number.
Yeah.
And the fact that you can now take responsibility for your action, now you know your value, you know your worth, you know your abilities because you're taking responsibility. Effect, like I was responsible for 40 people in that book, right? That gives you a way to grow into that. So if you didn't feel like you had any value in this world, right? There's 40 people will say, no, you connected me to one of the most amazing experiences that I had.
You helped me become
in Square every 5 minutes going, woo, woo, right? So,
but it was just, because I talked to people all over the place in different walks and different things. And so I'll find something in them, some little nugget of something that needs to be shared and to this person, or hey, maybe you should be in this book. And that's I do a lot of that connecting thing because I guess I look back, and we do this, right, and we look back at when I was a victim back in high school. I was the little kid in school. I was bullied a lot.
Did we lose you?
I was in victim mode. No. So I look for that in people.
Yeah.
I look for those nuggets, and that's what I've spent my career doing, was helping people learn how to recognize the importance of their own story and how to share that.
Yeah. Darcy, you kind of have a similar thing of helping people kind of take responsibility for their lives and for their actions in the work you do too as well, right?
Oh, well, and that my whole business is called I Choose Me. It just took me a lot longer to choose me than counterparts, right? And it's like, and it goes from the Me Too movement, where I couldn't voice it at that time. It was 2017, I think it was, when the latest Me Too movement came out. But then it was like, finally it's like, damn it, I choose me. Yes, I experienced something, but I want to grow beyond that. But it took me, 50 years to get over it. So it's not that I lived in Victimville. I didn't live in Victimville, but I was on the border of Survivorville to Victimville because I didn't know which way to go. And I didn't have someone to help me through that. So feel my feels, but don't live there. I took up residence a little too long in Survivorville, but I was moving up in the neighborhood, right? To finally cross over into Thriverville. But it was to share. It was like networking with John. It was, how can I help you not spend half a century in not living your truth and not speaking your authenticity, doing what you're here to do instead of hiding it. And that's what I did. And so, I was an introvert back. Surprise! I'm still an introvert. I know that.
You're still an introvert.
But it's
Take responsibility.
I was an extrovert.
where you,
I was an extrovert forced to be in an introvert's body.
yeah,
Because when I drew attention to myself, I got beat up. You know,
gotcha.
it took me a long time to be able to realize that it was okay to be that extrovert.
Yeah.
You have to get out of a system where parents are programming their kids to accept a belief, and you're bringing this belief into existence, not making your own decisions. So you're being your parents' puppets.
So speaking of parents, my parent was slightly brilliant in that her propaganda was fantastic. So you know how earlier you were talking about, tell you people like be humble, don't be conceited. My mom actually gave us words young about our confidence, and she said that like if anyone ever calls you conceited, you look at them straight in their face. You go, "I'm not conceited. I'm confident," and you like say that with.
I was going to say convinced.
No, you're confident, and because there were three things that my mom it was really important for her to instill in us. One was that we are smart. The other is that we are beautiful, and the other is that we are good people. Like we are good people. Those are the three things that she didn't want us to have any kind of question marks around, right? And so the reinforcement in our household was that I'm smart, I'm confident, and I'm a good person, right? And my so anytime someone would say something negative against like anti-propaganda of that, we had responses for it. Like she gave us responses for this, so we knew how to manage it. So if someone ever called me ugly, I'd go, "Oh, I'm just not your type. It's fine," right? Like it immediately changes the context of what's that. Oh, well, you have a choice. Like you have options. I'm just not your option. That's cool, right? It doesn't mean I'm ugly. It just means that you don't like my style. That's fine. Right?
I might not be a tea, but that's fine.
That's cool. I'm so cute. They ain't got nothing to like. That sounds like a you problem. It's not a me problem kind of experience. And like smart. It's one of the reasons why Genius Leadership Academy, like everybody has a different kind of smarts, a different kind of intelligence, a different kind of genius. Right now, absolutely, we're all.
And that's what makes it all
here.
work. By the way, is that diversity, the fact that everybody is good at different stuff.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. So like having this concept of I'm a genius at something and a complete idiot at something else, and those things are always true. They're always true. I'm going to be an idiot at something, and I'm going to be a genius at something, and then there's a bunch of stuff in between. There's a bunch of stuff in between that I'm neither nor, right? And so being very comfortable knowing that there's some areas where I'm really, really intelligent and other areas where I need a lot of help to get the concept of was something that we got really young. So when someone would say you're dumb, it's like,
It's
I'm
good
not
to
dumb.
admit that. It's good to admit and to know that we're not good at some things. And it's okay to ask for help.
It's okay to ask for help, or it's okay to be like, yeah, I suck at throwing basketballs. Yes, I am a Black woman who's relatively tall, and that seems like that would come natural, but it does not. It does not come natural. Yes,
I'm a short guy, and I also suck at throwing basketballs. So there you go.
everybody, just because of the way you look or a particular type, or
But see, we have that in common, Monica.
Right?
See,
That we both suck
we
at
have
basketball.
that in common.
We're never gonna hoop it up.
Right, but that's okay.
Was never part of my
But see, that's what.
understanding. I'm the Asian who
If
does
we're constantly
non-technology
looking,
and non-medical stuff, well, other than being a massage therapist. Sorry for cutting you off, John.
Go ahead.
I was just saying, if we just stop looking at what makes us different from each other, let's look at the things that we have in common. We bond on that, then we take the things that we're different with, and then use that to complement each other.
Yes. Yeah.
Mhm.
But it also makes it really easy when you have those what are those the holiday sports games where everybody has to join in, and you like throw a bucket or a brick and it does not go in, hey, I'll own it. I suck at this. It's fine.
We were Italian. When we did the family gatherings, we didn't play hoops. We played bocce. Bocce and horseshoes
I love that.
at the family gatherings. Yeah, the rest of us really knew better.
I mean, I hate to say this, but like we have been on for 30 minutes and this show is technically supposed to be 30 minutes. So we have to wrap up. Unfortunately, this has been a fantastic conversation. And I hope all of you who are watching have enjoyed us shooting the shit here. John, is there any last thoughts about taking responsibility and how can someone support you or reach out to you after this conversation?
Great. I have to say, go and look in the mirror. Stop looking for flaws. Look for all the good that you do. Look at the things that you've accomplished. Look at all the positivity in your life. And if you don't have any, ask somebody, they'll tell you where it is. And don't listen to the other voices that are in your head that are telling you you're not enough. You're no less than anybody else, but you're also no better than anybody else.
Bam. That gets a brilliant sister.
So,
Darcy.
oh, wow. Yeah, I've got that twice today. I'm impressed. Thank you.
And you get double.
Oh, man. I got to get me one of those.
Yeah, you do. She's coming out with another one too, so just FYI.
Yeah, the shame.
This has been great. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me here. This has been a wonderful opportunity. Yes, I'm a speaker, a coach, and author. You can find me online at johnverrico.com, and I'm on all the social media except TikTok. I'm not dancing on TikTok.
No,
you don't have to dance on TikTok. You just have a fan on your head.
He's taking responsibility for the fact that he does not want to do that. Darcy.
That's exactly it.
Darcy, what about
Don't even
you?
get me started.
I know we're never going to leave, guys. So, Darcy,
this is too good.
do you have any final thoughts about taking responsibility for your actions?
Be around people who are truth tellers and will call you on your bullshit. Help you see what is your truth, right? And then sit with it, and then figure out how to take action and take responsibility, because it's only going to help you, right? Yes. You, and just like John said, I'm going to echo that, is that we each have our own particular sparkle, our own particular message, and coming together and sharing it, we make a bigger impact. So to find me, go to choosemethod.me/connect, and then you can connect with me there, and or just cruise around my website because it's fun. Right?
I love it. I love it. And of course, you know me, Monica Henderson, always here to support you guys. My final thought with this is that taking responsibility for your actions really comes down to you living in the duality of the truth, that you are both the problem and the solution. You are both right and wrong. You are both, you can be intentional about your actions being one way and have an effect on people in another way. And all of those things are true. It doesn't change that you're a good person. So remember that you have choices and you can choose to be great.
Mm-hmm.
With that, if I don't hit end screen, we will continue to talk for forever. So with that, we'll see you.